Jagrata, Jamastras. There are two very different approaches to deep, meaningful spiritual teachings. One is extremely uplifting to hear someone discuss who you really are, how high you are, what your potential is, the beauty of the love, the Shakti, the light that is your natural birthright. It's going on inside of you all the time. And it's very inspiring to hear about it and think about what it would be like to be like that. Or to remember maybe some meditation or some experience you had in your life where you'd had some transcendental experience, a beautiful experience. It's very inspiring. The trouble is that your feet aren't on the ground. It doesn't really tell you to get there. It just talks about that there is a there, and you feel inspired, but what do you do? The other spiritual teachings, the really deep ones, are, why aren't you there? What's keeping you from being there? It's not enough to just be inspired. There's some reason that you're not filled with ecstasy, that you're not filled with light, that you're not filled all the time. Sure, once in a while you are, maybe. But why are you not all the time in a state of constant upward ecstatic energy pouring through your being, which is your natural state? Why are you not there? And so that teaching is getting down where the rubber hits the road. And it's not complicated, but it's not easy to do. So why are you not there? Two reasons. Fear and desire. But those aren't the deepest reasons. We'll find out where they come from. Fear and desire are not just things floating out there. They have a root. And if you work at the root, you have a chance of freeing yourself. But if you don't understand and can't work with fear and desire, you can't really go anywhere. You can talk about it, think about it, read about it. What are fear and desire? They're really the same thing. You're blocked. That's why you don't feel ecstatic energy all the time. You're blocked. The same as the Colorado River is blocked by the Hoover Dam. As long as the Hoover Dam is there, the river can't flow. It's trying to. It never stops trying to. They have to really keep up with that dam, or that river will find a way through. It's its natural state to flow. Well, that's what's happening inside of you. There's a natural Shakti flow, a natural energy flow inside of everybody, no matter what they've ever done, no matter what you will ever do. Doesn't make any difference. That is your natural state, that this energy flowing inside and going up. Why don't I feel it? Because you blocked it. Okay? What's the result of blocking it? If you have a rapidly flowing stream that has a really nice bed underneath it, you don't have rapids, you don't have eddies, you don't have waves and currents, you just have a very even flow of water flowing down that riverbed. If you put one rock inside of that flow, you get disturbance. You get eddies, you get waves, you get currents. Just one rock. If you put more rocks, you get more of those. If you put enough rocks, the flow becomes a trickle. You'll understand that, don't you? Well, that's what's happening inside of you. You have put rocks, blockages, in your flow of Shakti, in your flow of energy. Therefore, when it hits the blockages, it creates disturbances. When it doesn't hit the blockages, which sometimes happens, very rare, we can talk about that, you don't feel disturbance. You feel some energy. You feel love. You feel enthusiasm. You feel inspiration. That's because it didn't hit the blockage. That energy that's coming up is always there, but it's being blocked by the blockages you put in there. And the blockages not only block the energy, when the energy hits the blockages, it's just like when it hits the rocks in a riverbed. It causes eddies and currents and disturbances, and you feel those all the time, don't you? Okay? You feel disturbances. There's a disturbance in the Force, as Star Wars said. Okay? You feel that disturbance in there. And it feels very different than uplifting inspiration and love. Okay? First, why is it like that? Because you blocked it. Period. That's all. You blocked it. And if you put blockages in there, it's going to be like that. So, the bottom line of this whole discussion is, if you take out the blockages, everything that Christ talked about, everything Buddha talked about, everything Muhammad talked about, everything the great Rebbes and the Kabbalah talk about, everything that those who reached a very high state, all the masters, talk to you about, is what happens if you release the blockages. If you don't release the blockages and you try to get high anyways, you struggle. You struggle, and every once in a while you have a good meditation. Every once in a while you meet somebody who makes you feel love. But it doesn't last, you know it doesn't last, and you struggle to make it happen. You have to do things to try to make the outside happen so that when it comes in, it makes it around your blockages. And that's exactly what's happening. It's so easy to talk about. People say, we have chemistry. No, you have energy interactions between each other that somehow it works that you get around your blockages. And so you feel love. And that's really beautiful. It's not beautiful. And don't ever give it away. But understand what it is. Love is your natural state. Love is happening inside of you, not outside of you. You don't need anyone or anything to feel love. You do now because you're blocked. And if you feel insecure because you're blocked, you don't think a lot about yourself because you're blocked, because mommy and daddy didn't treat you right and you're blocked, and your first lover dumped you and you're blocked. Now if somebody walks up and says, oh my God, I can't even stand in your presence. Just to look at you melts my heart. It's been that way since we were in kindergarten together, but I was too embarrassed to ever tell you. How you doing? Okay? It made it around your blockages. Don't worry, it won't stay that way. One, they won't keep saying that. And if they did, you'd say, leave me alone. They just sat there saying that all the time. And if it's somebody else, you get upset. It's all relative. Does it make it around your blockages? So I don't want to talk about the high state. I want to talk about what caused this. So understand what caused this are blockages. But you said fear and desire. Fear and desire are the result of your blockages. Fear is your blockage expanding, energy hitting it, and causing all this terrible disturbance inside. That's freaky, isn't it? Desire is the exact same thing. What do you mean? I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm blocked. I don't feel loved. I don't feel loved. I don't feel accepted. So I enjoy being accepted, and when people clap when they go in the room, that's really big, right? Or if I give a talk, I want everyone to love it and be nice about it. So I desire acceptance. I desire love. I desire people treating me a certain way. I desire what it feels like when the energy's open. So since it's not open, but there are things that can make it feel open, I desire those things. So what a desire is saying, I'm not okay. I'm not okay in here. I don't feel what I want to feel in here. And I've had experience in the past. It could be watching a movie. It could be reading a book. It could be a dream you had. It doesn't have to actually be a physical experience, but most of it are past experiences that made me feel better. I want those to happen again. Why? Because I'm not okay. Why do you feel fear? Because I'm not okay. The root of desire and fear are the same. They don't feel the same, but they are the same. How do I know? If you did not have blockages. Now, by the way, let's get this straight, because you guys always, some people misunderstand my teachings, right? If a lion jumps at you, feel fear. That is primal fear. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about psychological fear. It's a big difference, isn't it? You're afraid of everything. You're afraid to talk to somebody. You're afraid you said the wrong thing. You're afraid your hair is frizzy. Those are not physiological primal fears. There is primal fear. There's an animal down here. You're hanging out with an animal. And animals have fear of survival. Fear is a challenge to survival, not a challenge to your ego. Not a challenge to what you want. Not a challenge to avoiding what you don't want. See the difference? It's a primal thing. It's got to do with your body. It doesn't have to do with your mind or your heart or your psyche. Those are natural fears. Some people can overcome them. It's good to be able to be as open as possible with those so they're not running your life. But in general, that's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about fear, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fear. You got so much of it, it's ridiculous. The fear that runs your life. I'm afraid someone will hurt me. I'm afraid I didn't do something right. I'm afraid 10 years ago I did something right. And someone will tell somebody, what will I do? These are completely meaningless fears. They're just psychological problems that you have because you're blocked. If you were filled with ecstasy, literally, well, people fall in love and they do that. I don't care where we live. We can live outside in the rain. If you're feeling love and you're feeling joy and you're feeling upliftment, you don't have desires. Because you're already experiencing what you want to experience. But if you're not, Then you look at your past experience. Your mind does it automatically. You look at your past experiences, including, like I said, movies, and doesn't have to be an actual experience, but something has come in that made you feel better. It came in and made you feel better. And therefore, since I don't feel good, I want it to happen again. I want something like it to happen again. That's what a desire is. A desire is the result of you not being okay and thinking there's something that will make you be okay. How's that for a definition? If you were okay, you do not have desires. Why? Because that's all you wanted, was to be okay, right? And so if you are okay, if you just ate and you're not hungry, you don't need food. But if you didn't eat and you're starving, you need food. But it's the same thing with this beautiful energy inside. If you're uplifted and you feel all this beautiful energy, you don't even know what a desire is. You have no idea. People use the word, I don't know what you're talking about. All I feel is ecstasy. I don't need anything to feel the ecstasy. I don't need anything to feel the love. It's my natural state. So I don't need you to do anything. I don't need anybody to do anything. I'm fine. Doesn't mean you don't interact, but I don't interact in order to get something. Let's get this down, because people really misunderstand the teachings. Let's say, somebody once wrote me and said, if I was in ecstasy, why would I do anything? I don't know. If you're in love, why do you want to see the person you love? You're in love. You don't care if you ever see him again, right? Love wants to express itself. Inspiration wants to express itself. Creativity wants to express itself. They want to express themselves. It's not that I need love. I already have the love, but it wants to express itself. So it's not that because you reach these high states, you don't do anything. You're inspired to serve, to give, to participate, not to get and need. Okay? So inspiration is a neat thing, isn't it? If you're really inspired, do you want to go to work? Do you want to paint? Do you want to play the music? Of course you do. But that's because you have something to play. Not, I want to play the music so people clap. I want people to be proud of me because I don't feel good and this will make me feel better. The big difference, isn't it? Okay. So basically, psychological fear, all psychological fears are because you're blocked and you don't feel the uplifting energy that feeds you, that you're capable of. So now you're afraid that things will go wrong and you'll get hurt and so on. And the same thing with desire. You feel desires because you don't feel whole. You don't feel complete. What your desires are is that which I think will make me feel better. You don't like to talk about desires that way. Someone once told me, I didn't listen, but I didn't argue with them, that what your desires are is God telling you what you should be doing. Which one do you think that's going to work out really good? Because whatever your desires are, that's God telling you what to go do. It's not. Your desires are you have a lacking, and you have psychologically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, had experiences that make you think that if this were to happen, I would feel better. Therefore, of course, I want it to happen. Why would I not? It makes me feel better. It is natural that if you're not okay, you're going to try and be okay. But the answer is not to go get what you think will make you feel okay. The answer is to find out why you're not okay. Big difference. Nobody has ever fulfilled a desire and never wanted anything else. Nobody, ever. But if you clean those blockages out and you get filled with love and Shakti, there are no more desires. There's just the beauty of the expression of sharing the beautiful energy that you're feeling. That's a permanent state. That's called unconditional love, not conditional love. Unconditional inspiration. Like they teach you, and they should, it's fine. I told you, don't listen to me. Listen to me while you're here. Then when you go out, just forget it all. All right? It's like they teach you, find something that inspires you. Find a job that inspires you. I don't teach that. I mean, yes, you should do that by all means, right? I don't mind that you find a job that inspires you. What I want is that every single thing you do inspires you equally. I want that every single job you do, you can't wait to go do it. Which one you want? That there's one job out there, I think I'll find it. There's one person out there. They say for every boy and girl, there's just one love in this whole world. No, there's 8.3 billion of them. How would you like to love everything? How would you like to be inspired by every single thing you do? It's my turn to take the garbage out. You did it yesterday. I want to do it today. Why not? You're sitting here, sitting a little planet spinning in the middle of nowhere. You can die soon. I don't care if you're 5 years old. You're going to die soon. Earth has been here for 4.5 billion years. How long are you going to be here? You're supposed to be inspired. You're supposed to enjoy the whole thing. Go to Mars. You're going to be so bored, you won't handle a day at Mars. Here, you're never bored. There's always something happening, is there not? There's always something happening in front of you. You don't have to do a single thing. Just boop, it's just happening by itself. You should be in love with it. You should be inspired. I told you I'm going to talk about the high states. Okay, I'm sorry. All right? But which do you want to do? Have one job that if you find the boss is just right and they give you the task that's just right and you're good at it, when people compliment you, let me find that. Then I'll be inspired. Or every single thing you do, you're inspired. See, I care about you. I would like that. And you're capable of that. Don't you dare. The only reason you like one thing and not another is because of those blockages. You've had past blockages. That's why you like one kind of dog and not another. That's why you like this kind of everything. Right? You've had experience in the past that make you feel good about that sort of thing. Okay? So desires and fears come from the same place. They come from your blockages. So the question is going to be, what do you do about desires and fears? You don't renounce them. You don't deny them. You don't make believe you don't have them. You don't suppress them. No, that doesn't work. Why? They are energy. Everything's energy. And science knows that. All physics is saying that now. And the bottom line, it's all energy. It's a quantum field of energy. That's really beautiful. There's no matter. There's no form. There's energy. Well, it's the same thing inside. And yogis have been saying that from the beginning of time. It's just energy, a dance of energy. Chit Shakti Vilas. That was the name of Baba's book. Chit Shakti Vilas. The dance of conscious energy. Conscious energy. All right? So now it's blocked. And the blockage makes you feel fear. And the blockage makes you feel desire. And desire makes you go out and do things. And fear keeps you from doing things. Yin yang. Okay? Or fear can inspire you to do things so you don't feel afraid. Right or wrong. Fear can drive you to try and change things. It's a motivator. Fear's quite a motivator, isn't it? But it'll burn you out in no time. There's no way fear's a long-term motivator. And there's no way desire's a long-term motivator. Why? I went through a doctorate in economics, never got my dissertation, but went through a doctorate in economics, and there was this law. I always remember it now. It was way back, it was 55 years ago, whatever, right? The law was the law of diminishing returns. It's economics, they teach you that law, the law of diminishing returns. What does that tell you? What I just told you. Desires cannot be fulfilled. Why? The more you get them, the less you want them. There's not a single desire that you had that if you kept having it, you would get bored to death with it, that doesn't have the same value. Take the best food you ever had in your life. Oh my God, I love it so much. And we get the best chef they could ever make it, and they come here and they make you that dinner. Oh my God, it melts in your mouth. Your whole being is into ecstasy and shock. You can't even believe it, how wonderful it is. Okay, you want it tomorrow night? Oh, yeah, damn, I sure do. Next night? Yeah. Next night? I guess so. Next night, the chef's still here. What about breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No! Give me Brussels sprouts. There's a law of diminishing returns. By the way, in everything, there's a law of diminishing returns. I won't get into it. Even the things you think are so neat, if they keep happening, you got to do something different. You got to find a new way to do it. That's because you get used to it. The energy doesn't flow the same the second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th time. Right? So basically, you cannot satisfy a desire by fulfilling it, and you cannot get rid of a fear by trying to avoid it. If you have a fear of lightning, you better go move somewhere where it doesn't lightning. But then you're going to find out that once it did, how do you know it's not? You can't get rid of a fear by avoiding it. Because you're afraid of it means you'll think about it. The very fact that you're avoiding it means it's running your life. You cannot get rid of a fear by avoiding it. The very fact that you're avoiding it means you kept it. Okay, it's just not being stimulated. But you're thinking about it and you're acting accordingly. The fear is running your life. It's the same thing with desire. You can't get rid of a desire by satisfying it. Why? Because the more you get it, the less you want it. And also, it's never exactly what you want. To get it around those blockages, it has to be exactly the way you want. You tell somebody you love them. Oh, they're embraced. I love you so much. I'm just melting in your arms. Yeah, I love you too. Oh, no. They said they loved you. Yeah, but not with the right tone, in the right way, at the right time. Right or wrong. It has to be exactly right. That's because those blockages are there. So you get to the point where you understand that fear and desire are running your life, which means the blockages are running your life. We'll get back to those in a minute. What does it mean, fear and desire running my life? Have you noticed that fear is rather difficult to deal with? It's hard to feel fear, isn't it? Like when you feel fear, you don't want to feel it. You're afraid of fear. How's that? You are afraid of feeling fear. It doesn't matter what it is that made you feel it. I'm afraid of feeling fear. Therefore, I have to go about my business to make sure that I'm not feeling fear. And when I do feel fear, I get weird. How about you? You get weird. I don't know what you're going to say, what you're going to do. You're just weird. Does it get like that in there? Just go, you're like the water hitting the rocks. It just gets all like that. And so you either, psychology teaches you this. Either run away or attack. Okay? That's what you do with fear. Either it makes you run away from it, or it makes you attack the thing that's making you feel fear so it goes away. In both cases, you can't handle fear and you're trying to get rid of it. And it runs your life. You know how many fears you have? Psychological fears? To be rejected, to give a talk and have people not like it, to have your hair get frizzy, to get a little tiny little red spot at the prom. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the prom, right? Or you have to give a talk, you have to play an instrument for a recital ever since you were little. You have fear, don't you? Do you look right? Did you wear the right thing? Is everything this? Did you spill something on your pants? How many things are you afraid of? How about everything? And so what does that make you do? It makes you manipulate to either stay away from it so it doesn't stimulate the fear, or to push out there to kind of be aggressive and push that out. A very aggressive person is more scared than anybody else. They have to manipulate and control their environment, otherwise they're scared. Why do people lie? Because they're afraid of the truth. There's no reason. It's either desire or fear. You're lying because I'm afraid if I tell the truth, if the truth happens, I won't be comfortable. Or I lie because I have a desire and I want to get it because I'm not comfortable. Do you understand how fear and desire are the same thing? They have the same root. Every single thing, every problem that exists in the world today are fear and desire. John Lennon sings, imagine all the people living life at peace. If they didn't have fear and desire, we could all live at peace. But while you have fear, you have to manipulate me. You have to do something so that you're careful about what everybody does that doesn't make you feel fear. And if you feel desire, same thing. If you feel desire, you better make sure everybody's doing what you need them to do to make you think you're going to get your desire taken care of. So fear and desire run the whole place. And it's all due to your blockages. It all comes down to a very spiritual thing, which is you have blocked the flow of your energy. Okay, and I wanted to talk about this. We'll be real tonight. How do you deal with fear and desire? It's one thing to talk about the philosophy and the understanding of why they're there. And I already told you how to get rid of them. You don't get rid of them by dealing with the outside. You get rid of them by dealing with the inside. You understand, I have blockages. It has blocked my energy. Therefore, I'm feeling fear if something hits the blocked energy. I'm feeling desire to try and get around the blocked energy, and it's running my life. So ultimately, the answer to how to have a beautiful life and be high all the time and be able to be giving and participating in the beauty of life is you get rid of the blockages. We can go there toward the end, but I'm not gonna, I always talk about that. Because it's the most important thing to talk about. What do I do if I'm a normal human being and I still have blockages? Therefore, I feel fear and desire. What do I do about that? I told you, your tendency is to manipulate the world so it does not hit and stimulate your fears. And your tendency is to manipulate the world so that it bees the way you think it needs to be so you can feel good energy. Fair enough? That's every single thing everybody's doing. Everybody. All the time. And the problem is, what causes you fear makes me feel good. And what makes you feel good scares the hell out of me. Therefore, we fight. Therefore, we have disharmony. Therefore, we don't agree about anything. Look at politics. Don't bother thinking you're right. Everybody thinks they're right, don't they? The people who believe the exact opposite you believe to the bottom of your heart, believe they are right to the bottom of their heart. Why? Because of your past experiences and their past experiences. That's what made them be the way they are, and that's made you be the way you are. And as long as that's going on, we're not going to get along very well, are we? It'll be a constant struggle. So you look at it, and you say, what do I do? You can't do anything about somebody else. What do I do about my fears? And what do I do about my desires? You're talking yoga. You're talking because it's energy hitting blockages and expressing itself out, because it's energy hitting blockages and managing to flow up, you're dealing with energy flows. So what do you do about that? That's what meditation is about. That's what mindfulness is about. That's what witness consciousness is about. That's what everything's about, which is saying you're in there and you're conscious. First, are you in there? Okay, how do you know? Shut up. Don't ever answer such a question, right? I'm in here. Do you feel fear ever? Do you feel desire ever? How do you know? This is the real talk. How do you know you feel fear? How do you know you feel desire? Because I'm in here. I'm a conscious being. And what I'm conscious of is there's this fear going on in there. The mind, the heart, right or wrong. And what I'm conscious of, there's this desire going on in there. And I'm aware of it. Because I'm in here and I'm conscious. And it's going on. How do I know she's sitting there? Because I'm conscious and she's sitting there. How do you know there's fear? Because I'm conscious and there's fear in there. There's something going on inside instead of outside. Okay? So there's the first starting position is I'm in here and there's fear in here with me. My neighbor. I got that's all I call it, the roommate. I got a roommate, don't I? And that roommate's screwed up for sure. So I see there's fear, I see there's desire. Fine, that's a start. That you notice, that's the start. I'm in here. It's not always fearful in here. It's not always desirous in here, but it is. A lot of times it is. So basically, you see that there's fear and desire. That's the starting point. In other words, I'm not the fear. I'm noticing the fear. That's the real step of spirituality. You don't have to think it. It's the truth. I'm noticing there's fear in here. There wasn't fear in here before you said what you said. And now there's fear in there. I noticed there's desire in here. There wasn't desire in here before you said what you said or did what you did. Now there's desire in there. How do you know? Because I'm in here. Are you the fear? No. I'm not the fear any more than I'm the cloud, any more than I'm the piece of wood. It's something I'm experiencing. That's spirituality. That's witness consciousness. And the same thing with desire. I am not the desire. I'm the experience of the desire. Fine. Now, can you... Oh boy, now we're going to get real. Can you experience fear or desire and just notice it and let it come and go? It wasn't there a moment ago. It may not be there a moment from now. Can I let it come and go? Can I let it pass through? You said something to me, at least I think you did, that disturbed me. Okay? Listen to me. Is that okay? Ooh, gosh, he said it. Is that okay with you that somebody said something or didn't say something, or you thought they said something, or you thought they might say something? It all can stimulate fear, can it? Okay, it happens every minute of your life. You understand? We're talking about you in there. Can you handle that? No, I can't. And you can't. You react immediately. You defend. You run, you attack, you protect. In other words, I do not want to feel fear. I'm not able to feel fear. And I want to feel desire, but I don't want to feel desire that's not being fulfilled. It's painful, isn't it? How do you like feeling desire that's not going to happen, you can't touch it and you can't do anything about it? That's just as painful as fear, isn't it? Okay, so understand. Question is, can you handle what's going on in there? And the answer is no. So the natural, instinctual process is to do something about it outside. To punch somebody. Or tell them, don't even come home tonight, I don't want to see you again. Or come be with me. Do something that satisfies the desire, at least temporarily, and that avoids the fear. That is what you're going to do. It's their natural instinctual reaction. It is not a very healthy reaction. Why? Because it keeps the fear. What happens if you have a child and they throw a tantrum in Burdines? Let's give them what they want. What toy do you want? What color do you want? What, are you crazy? What's that kid going to grow up like? The most messed up child that ever existed on the face of the earth. You all know that, don't you? That's what you're doing with yourself. You're sitting there saying, I don't feel comfortable. Give it what it wants. Do what the fear wants, let it run your life. Do what the desire wants, let it run your life. Can you hear me? Is it not true we do that? The question is, do we have to do that? No. Is it wise to do that? No, it's not. Why? Because you have reinforced the fear and you have reinforced the desire. Okay? So if I really love you and I love looking at you, I love being with you, and I don't want you to be with anybody else, fear, and I want you to be with me, desire, look at that, right next to each other. And I'm out there trying to watch what you're doing or who you're with or who you're on the phone with. We got a problem. Both of us have a problem, don't we? Because I can't handle myself. Therefore, I have a problem and you have one too. Wake up. I'm telling you, this concept that what you're going to do is manipulate the world around you so you don't have problems with fear, you don't have problems with desire, you're not going anywhere. And you know that. Why? You've been doing it your entire life. Your entire life you've been avoiding fear and trying to fulfill desire. Have you not? Your toys, your mommy, your daddies, you held your sister more than you. And oh my God, I can't talk about it. It's all been like that. And you thought the answer is to get things the way you want. Nobody has ever gotten things the way they want, and the effort of doing so has caused so much trouble, like Hitler. We don't want to talk about what he wanted. He caused a lot of trouble, didn't he, in the whole world. Why? Because somebody couldn't handle themselves. I couldn't handle there's these type of people. I couldn't handle that we're not the most powerful country. You hear me? Caused a lot of trouble, didn't it? Okay. So you're doing that too. Not as bad as him, all right? But you're doing that. You're trying to manipulate the world around you because you can't handle it due to fear and desire. Remember, that fear is avoidance, desire is getting. But they're the same. Behind it is the same thing. You're not okay. And your actions are that I can't handle it. So spirituality, real spirituality, is not just about, let's talk about high things and dance and do these things. It's saying, if I can't handle myself, I'm not going anywhere. I can get a situation just right or be with the right person, but I'm still scared. It's still the same in there. What can I do about that? First, to do anything about it, you can't be giving into it. But that's not renunciation. That's wisdom. I'm understanding. All right? If a hamster is running as fast as they can on that little wheel, they run, right? And they get wise enough to catch on. Wait a minute. I've been doing this my whole life. I'm not getting anywhere. I could get off the wheel. No one's ever gotten off the wheel. I wouldn't know what it would be like. But you know what it's like to stay on the wheel, and you know it doesn't work. Do you call that renouncing the wheel? That's not renunciation. That's wisdom. Try something different. This hasn't worked. Well, guess what? Running away from fear and chasing desire hasn't worked for you either, or anybody else. But yet you keep doing it. One after another. So you look at it and you say, all right, how do I learn to work with this? And you start by saying, and I always do this, don't worry about the big stuff. Don't worry about the big, some people teach you, oh, just go to your biggest problem and try to deal with it. Oh my God, that's freaky. I've seen people that try to do that and screw themselves out completely. Because there's no way they can handle that. It's just too strong, too much energy and too much messy stuff. Okay? I have found out that if you start with the small stuff and you sit there and say, can I handle this level of fear? What level? I got in the shower and it was a little bit colder than I wanted it to be. How much? Half a degree. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Just for the sake of learning that I can handle things. I'm eating a meal. It's my favorite meal. And the dish that was dessert, oh my God, it's my favorite, right? Don't listen to me. Can you leave a little bit on the plate? Not a lot. Just a little bit. Why? To prove that you are stronger than this urge, than these desires. Because ultimately, if you can be free of them, you have to be stronger than them. You have to be devoted to saying, I am not my fears and I am not my desires. You're not going to get there by giving in to them. So notice it's not renunciation. You're not sitting there saying, this is bad food, I shouldn't be eating it. This is a commandment, this isn't. No. You're just being wise to say, I want to grow. I want to change. Let's talk about that. I want to give a whole lecture on change. If you don't change, there's no reason you got born. There's no reason to have experiences. Life is about growing. Life is about change. How come you're not 2 feet small anymore? Because you grew. You changed. You hear me? It's not about finding out something and being safe and never changing. That's ridiculous. The trouble is, in what direction are you changing? If you're changing in the direction of less fear and being able to handle fear, not even necessarily less. I don't care what fear there is. If you can handle it, doesn't matter. If it's not influencing your life, all right? And same thing. Not less desire. I can handle the desire. What you're going to find out, though, is if you can handle the fear, it goes away. If you can handle the desire, it gets higher. You feel freer. I'm freer. So this concept of being in there and learning to handle fear and desire is the essence of spirituality. It's the essence of spiritual growth. I told you, if you get to the point where fear and desire don't turn your head, you sit there and there's a car that you always wanted since you were little, and you look at it, it drives by, you say, hi, bye, and nothing in you says, I want it, oh my God, how come he gets it and I can't have it? You hear what I'm saying? You're not reacting, you're just fine. So you felt this attraction. You understand that? Do you have to run after everything you're attracted to? Yes, you do now, because it makes you feel better and you don't feel well. If you learn to handle the energy, this is very important of understanding spiritual growth. Energy is there. It's blocked. Otherwise you feel ecstasy. That's all it would do. But it's blocked, okay? The tendency is when the blockage comes back up is to push it back down. Why? It's uncomfortable. If you think of something that happened to you in your youth that traumatic, it really bothered you, how does it feel when it comes back up? Just as bad as when it happened 30 years later. That's because you stored it down there. When it tries to come back up, one choice you have, and it's what you do naturally, is to push it back down. No, get away from me. I told you not to talk about that. It bothers me. Why? Because I have stuff. I hit my stuff. Don't hit my stuff. I won't be friends with you if you hit my stuff. So that means you push it back down. The other thing you can do with it, what I've been talking about, is express it, or let it express itself. If it's fear, run away or attack. If it's desire, go get it and protect it and let the energy go out. That's what I say. Suppress, express. Okay? And the reason you express is because you can't hold it inside. I'm afraid I'm going to run away. I'm afraid I'm going to beat you up. All right? I'm desirous. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do things. I'll let that energy go out because I can't handle it inside. There's a third thing that only yoga teaches you, and that's the essence of the deep spiritual teachings. It can go up. Not down, not out, up. That's another way the energy can express itself, by going higher. How does that happen? The reason it has to go down or out is because it's hitting the blockage, and therefore you try to get it away because it's uncomfortable, or you try to release it. That's what it means, going out. You know what that feels like? You do it lots of ways. Let's say you had a bad day. You come home. What do? You talk about it. I had a bad day. Why do you want to keep talking about it? I wanted to express it. Why? Now, my favorite thing is this. You go to your friend. You say, oh, my God, you got to hear what happened to me, what he did. You say, God, now you say, I feel much better. Your friend says, I don't. You just took all the garbage that was going on inside of you that you couldn't handle. And by talking and by doing different things, I told you I did prison work at maximum security prison for 30 years. I went into the prisons. And there was this beautiful young man who was very, very, very special, all right? And he would not show up for the talks for weeks. And I said, well, what happened? I was in lockup. You're in prison. You're maximum security prison. What do you mean lockup? You live in lockup. No, I got locked into lockup, solitary confinement lockup. Why? Fighting. And he was not a big kid. All right, really, I swear to God, there was no way he was 5'8", all right? But he said, I got to fight. What are you getting in fights for? Ready? It's the only way I feel good in here. It's the only way I can express myself. In other words, he's got all this garbage in there. It's all locked up. There's nothing you can do. We can't take care of desires or fears. But if he get in a good fight, he said, I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I get beat up. It releases all. He's a smart kid, right? He knows what's going on. It releases energy. He's not very good. It's going to come right back. He didn't solve anything. That's what I mean about going out. So you can try to hold it down, or it finds its way out. Sometimes it finds its way out. You have no control over it, right or wrong. And then pots and pans are flying around. What's anger? What do you mean when you say he lost it? I lost it. The energy no longer is under your control. It's going to go shooting out. What's the alternative? When you're conscious and you work with the little stuff to start with, not the big stuff, just work with the little stuff, you're going to find out you can breathe it up. You can breathe, that's pranayama, that you can sit there, feel the energy, it starts to come up and it wants to go out. But you're in there. You're higher than every single energy. You're the highest thing in there. You're a very high being. Consciousness is the highest thing there is. You can look at it and do this. Ramdas used to say, put a nostril in the middle of your heart and make believe you're breathing in through that nostril and then breathe out. So breathe up and then breathe out. You're going to find out over time it actually works. You're carving a channel for the energy to be able to go up instead of going down or out. That's why this stuff is real. You have the right to do that. It's not going to happen immediately just because you do it once. But if you work with it, you're going to find out you have control in there. You get to work with the energy. It's called pranayama. That's what pranayama is in yoga. It's working with the energy and bring it up. Do the same thing with desire. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to someone or something. It happens. I told you why. It's because you're blocked, and this is getting around your blockage. So you start to feel uplifting energy, and you want to go with it. Of course you want to go with it. Don't get down on yourself. It's not a matter of guilt. It's not a matter of wrong. It's energy. It's just understanding the process. But you can breathe that energy up. You have the right to go there and put your hands under it and just say, okay, it's not wrong. It's not right. It's just energy. I love energy. And bring it up. The yogis say bring it up to the third eye or the top of your head, 6th or 7th chakra. Just bring it up and then breathe it out. Bring it up and breathe it out. So that is how you start to work with desire and fear. You don't feel guilty about them. You don't deny it. You don't feel bad about it. You're not ashamed. It's just there's blocked energy. This is what it does. It expresses itself. It's not your fault. There's blockages in there. It hits the blockages. So there's no guilt. There's no shame. There's just energy that's difficult to deal with. That's why you learn. You learn to deal with it. There's lots of I'm not going to tell you all the different techniques. Everybody teaches techniques. I don't teach techniques. I teach why you would use the technique. Be inspired to realize you don't have to let fear and desire run your life. You start realizing if I can handle this energy, it can go up. And I can be free of it. Not only do I block my energy by pushing it down, but I'm blocking my energy because I'm holding it down. My whole life I've held that down there. That's a waste of your energy. That's love being wasted doing that. That's how you should look at it. Love is beautiful energy, isn't it? You're using that energy to hold that garbage down there. That's why when you let it go, there's more love. There's more energy. Now, that's one stage. First stage is, am I conscious enough to see I am not that energy? It's just blocked down there, and therefore it's behaving like that. Second stage, I can work with it. Start with the simple stuff, not the hard stuff, because you can't work with the hard stuff yet. I told you, when you learn the piano, you don't start with Mozart or Beethoven. You start with the scales. When you learn a sport, you don't play the professionals. You start with a ball thrower or a coach. It's the same thing here. I don't know why they would teach you that. I can't deal with my anger. Of course you can't. No one taught you how to. You shouldn't have it. That's bad. Go to your room. You see what I'm saying? They taught you to suppress. So you learn. One, you're conscious. You notice this stuff is running your life, and it's very difficult to work with. Start with the simple things. Just every day, take some simple thing that you used to be afraid of, you used to be desirous of, and just relax. Just relax. I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. And you're going to find out that you can. Anything you want to handle, you can. And the next thing you know, you're going to be a little happier. Why? Because you didn't make yourself unhappy about a stupid little thing. You keep working with it. Eventually, and I like talking about this now, I'm not going all the way up, just here, you will find it's so nice to be able to work with yourself instead of have to have somebody else be the way you want them to be so that you're okay. That's a drag, isn't it? It's a real drag. No, at any time they might do anything. You won't be okay. You know, you have to dress a certain way and act a certain way and do certain things and always please them to make sure that they don't hurt you. Oh my God, don't you dare live like that. That's ridiculous. You have one life to live on a tiny little planet in the middle of nowhere, and that's what you're doing? But you don't change anything. You just work with yourself. You work inside. How would you like to know that if your energy started getting weird, you could take... I know somebody, I won't use his name, very high being, all right? And back when I was younger, earlier on the path, we'd go on vacations together, right? He'd take me with him on vacation. Very beautiful soul. And he had tremendous energy. Very, very powerful person. And we'd be riding in the car, and I'd feel the energy go down, because he was powerful. I feel the energy, get tired, right? And I'd look over there, he'd do this. 3 breaths. 3 breaths, and the energy went from tired to ecstatic inside of him and me, because I'm sitting next to him. How would you like to know you could control the energy like that? When Yogananda came to America, the great Master Yogananda, it was 1920s. He taught at Carnegie Hall, right? He was so popular. I didn't realize this. They showed me, how they used to wear placards when they walk around to advertise, right? Those wood things, right? It said, Swami Yogananda teaches control of the life force. He would call it pranayama, control of the life force. How to work with your energy inside of you so you're not dependent upon all these darn things to handle your fears and your desires. Little by little, if you will work in there, you're going to find out you can do it. So let's say you start doing this and you find out, one, I went through the whole day less bothered than I used to be. Why? I stopped bothering myself. I was able to handle things like the heat, or what somebody said, or the car in front of me. Remember? Those very simple examples. I can handle them, and then you're not going to be as bothered. If you're not bothered, have you noticed? If you're not bothered by things, you're less bothered. All right? When I did the interview in the new book, Living Untethered, with Oprah, she picked out a very powerful sentence in the book. She said it was her favorite sentence, right? The moment in front of you is not bothering you. You're bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. It doesn't have to bother you, but you bother yourself about it. You learn not to do that. Now what happens? You start getting higher. You start feeling more love. You start feeling more open. You stop being as afraid. You wake up in the morning and say, I wonder what will happen today. And you don't care. It's going to be fun. How do you know you're going to have fun today? Because I said I'm going to have fun today. Why wouldn't I have fun today? I'm on a tiny little planet spinning in the middle of nowheres, and something's going to be happening. Then if I'm okay with it, it's okay. If I'm not okay with it, it's not okay. But guess what? I've learned to be okay with it. Now what happens? Now something hits some bigger thing in there and starts to come up. You look at it, you say, oh boy, time to go to God. Time to grow. Time to get higher. Time to cleanse. Oh boy, I can't wait. This is so neat. Thank you so much for criticizing me. Thank you for blaming me for something I didn't even do. He's freaking out in there. It's kind of neat. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to breathe. And now you start catching on that while it's happening, you're breathing. While your boss is criticizing you for something that your coworker did, instead of defending yourself, it's very important that he understands you didn't do it. You don't tell him then, but we got to keep things straight. But not until I get the mileage out of it. So while it's happening, I'm breathing. And you're raising the energy. I want to be able to handle any energy. How about you? Wouldn't it be neat to know you can handle any energy that takes place and use it to get high? Then, of course, you come out and you deal with the world, okay? But not reactionary. And then you start welcoming it. If it starts to come up, you throw a party. Oh, boy, this doesn't have to be down there. It's been down there since I was 5. It's time for it to come up. You got stuff in there since you were 5? Come on, you know you do. How would you like to not have that in there? To not have to be afraid anymore. To not be afraid of fear or desire. You understand? You're afraid of your desires. You know you are. Because they run your life. I know people that, I fell in love. Are you happy? No, I'm scared. I've gotten hurt before. I'm going too fast. I can't even handle good things. Nice things. And so you work with yourself. That's what the talk's about. How to raise the energy instead of push it down or holding it down. And instead of always thinking you can solve it by throwing it out. I dare you. That energy is the most beautiful thing in the universe. And if you get, now I have to do it. If you get high enough, you reach a point. It's real. It's not just talk. Now the energy, your tendency is to go down. Your tendency to go down, push things out, protect yourself, express them out. At some point, when you're open enough, the energy starts going up by itself. You don't do a single thing. There's just this constant upward flow of Shakti, constantly flowing up, feeding you all the time, no matter what, until something happens that you tend to close. And then you'll say to yourself, am I willing to give up this flow because of what you said, because of what you did? No, I'm not willing to. Now you start getting really high. And it starts lifting you up. And that's called the ascent. It goes up naturally. Now you're not doing anything. It keeps pulling you up. And you get to a point where it feels like you're dying. It's like if you let go, I don't know where you'll go, but you won't be there anymore. Go there. All right? That's what Christ meant when he said, my Father and I are one. After all the masters went, when they completely broke through, Meher Baba said, my consciousness was like a drop of water. It fell into the ocean. Find it. Go find that drop of water that fell into the ocean. Yoga means merger. union. And it is a union of Atman with Paramatman, to use the Hindu words. Your individual self, you who's in there, you know yourself as separate. You're not separate. You're the divine consciousness staring at your mind. You're already there. You're in that state, but you're staring down at your mind and your emotions. You don't know how not to. This is how you raise yourself. And eventually the energy will raise you. It will pull you up so strong, and eventually you will let go. And that merger takes place. And that's the meaning of your life, the meaning of everything. Right? So what we talked about was fear and desire, didn't we? We talked about a little bit different than other people. It's not about renunciation, not about shame, not about fear. It's about, can you start to learn to work with your energy? And what's going to happen when you do, those blockages are going to come up little by little, but you can be comfortable with them. You'll be comfortable with them. What if something happens that's really, really difficult in there? Someone, a friend you haven't seen for years, says, "How you doing?" "Great." "Well, I thought you were having all this trouble." "Yeah, it's great. It's a period of great growth. This is unbelievable what I'm getting." That's how it should be. All right. Work with the energy. Work with the energy. Raise it up. Jagrative.